All right. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Aligned Feminine podcast. Today I am sitting down with Suhani Singh, aka the Fit Yoga Mom on Instagram. Suhani is a yoga teacher by passion and profession, hailing from Dehradun and currently living in Delhi. She is a mother of two boys and married to an officer who is currently serving in the Indian Army. Hashtag Paji wife. and yeah, also just before I say hello to Suhani, I want to share about how we met, which was very, very random, I feel. It was just this shoot that both of us were doing for a brand called Westside. And usually it's like when you meet somebody in the Fauji circle, it's either through, people you went to school with or, friends of your dad and their kids. So this was very random when I saw her and I was like, who is this like hot chick? And then I realized like she has like two kids and I'm like, oh my God, like how? So hi, welcome Suhani. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you.
So much. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. And so you have just gotten back from a training, right? A 1 month intensive training. Why don't you actually just start off and tell us a little bit about that? Like, what was that like for you?
So this was, I've been wanting to be a therapist ever since I became a yoga teacher because there were so many people in the family and friends and so many people otherwise for myself and for my kids, they were asking things like, little things like for backache, for knee pain, especially the most common issues, hypertension. My dad has high BP. My
Sure.
dad has depression. And postpartum depression, and also some other common stuff that's happening, which unfortunately asthma, and
Yeah.
these very common issues. So I was like, I was not able to, and you see these things going around on Instagram, like 5 asanas for thyroid, 5 asanas for this. So
Yeah.
I was somehow never convinced with that, and I thought there's more to it than just 5 asanas.
Yeah.
So it had been,
Yeah.
yeah, it had been long pending, and I could not go while I was in Nasik. So this training was in Nasik,
Okay.
and I was there for 3 years, but I could not go because I was in postpartum.
Oh,
So
wow.
now I went from here all the way from Delhi, yeah, to become a yoga therapist. And I wouldn't say I'm all of it already because I think it takes a lot of first-hand knowledge to
Sure.
understand exactly the dynamics. It's very sensitive of the diseases, what causes it, and but I feel better equipped to help, cases of pure cases like only depression, only asthma, only thyroid, maybe
Okay.
not yet everything altogether.
Okay.
And yeah, so it was not just it was we learned therapy, but the whole routine, that yogic lifestyle was something. This course was available online also. I could have
Okay.
done it online. It was for 2.5 months online. But
Okay.
everything that you go there and learn, absorb, and assimilate by being present in that sort of lifestyle. It's a typical ashram on
Okay.
a on a hilltop. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. So yeah, I had gone for that. It had been long pending to live that ashram life, basic living. So yes, that's what I went for, and I came back
All right.
successfully. Yeah.
And so tell me, what is, when you say that you learned, now you're a yoga therapist. So does that mean you kind of bring in talk therapy along with yoga? Is that what it means?
No. It's real therapy, like how yoga can help with all this. So when I
Yeah.
say yoga, I don't mean 5 asanas and 6 asanas. I mean
Yeah.
um, a yogic lifestyle. Like it includes diet, a healthy
Ah,
lifestyle, which
okay.
includes actually practically everything from what you eat to what time you sleep, and then what your
Understood.
yoga routine will be. It will not be just 5 asanas. It will be 1 hour, 60 minutes, or 90 minutes of practice, along with many other things like chanting and all of this put together.
Okay. So, wow. So it's like a whole package that you
It's
kind of
a,
now
it's like a whole
offer to your
package.
clients.
Yes, yeah. It's more
Wow.
than just
And
asanas, and a lot more than just asanas actually.
yeah, because yeah, at the end of the day, it's how you change every aspect of your life that's finally going to affect how
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
change. Yeah. Okay, wow, that's
Yes.
brilliant. And is there a name to this training, or is it just like a yoga therapist training? What is
Yoga
it called?
therapy. Yeah, yoga
Okay,
therapy.
Yoga
Yeah, the
therapy.
name of the course is yoga therapy. I think it's 200 hours.
200 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. And so now are you going to like start offering this online, or how do you plan on getting into it?
Yeah, so like I said, my plan is to take up pure cases of like no complications and not
Sure.
very advanced, like basic case of hypertension or diabetes or asthma, depression, obesity. These cases I feel very confident. And postpartum, I was already taking because I'm a pre and postnatal certified instructor as well. So that I was
Oh,
already
wow.
doing. So
Okay.
I'm planning to do all of this, maybe not take too complicated. And I really want to like sort of do an internship with an Ayurvedic or a yoga therapy center to
Okay.
get first hand knowledge of how it goes, like how to apply things and learn more, and maybe learn how to handle more complicated and advanced cases
Hmm.
and be more confident about what I'm doing.
And but then isn't Ayurveda like completely different, or
No,
is
it's
it
not.
similar?
Actually, it's naturopathy, Ayurveda, yoga. They're all working together. We had classes on naturopathy and Ayurveda as
Okay.
well. Yes,
Okay. Cool.
it's all
Cool.
together.
All right. Okay. So since we are already on the topic of yoga, and you've been for how many years have you been doing and teaching yoga?
I've been practicing now. When any someone asks me, I'm like, oh my god, it's been that long. Seriously, I didn't realize because I like the kid was so small, and then I have another one who is almost like big now. So yeah, I started in 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It's actually unbelievable that it's been 7 years. In June, actually,
Wow.
precisely, yes. 7
7 years. Okay.
years of practicing, and I started teaching in 2020
Got it.
March.
Got it. And so
Yeah,
you sort of came into yoga after your first baby, right?
yeah. The first one was, I think, 2 years old, 1.5 or 2.
All right. And is this something that you had always thought that you would do, or is this just something that happened and you're like, yes, this is what I want to do with my life?
Yeah,
Like, was there a
I
point like
wish
that?
I wish this was something I always thought that I would do. That would have been great, but no. And also when we were growing up, it was not a thing like fitness, yoga. It
Yeah,
was not. Yes, it was not
yeah.
a. But I was at a school which was I have done all sorts of sport from shot put, high jump and long jump and did you
Wow.
say marathon, relay, skipping rope race, everything. So
Okay.
I was always into sports and during like after lunch my mom used to make all of us sleep. We are three siblings
Okay.
and I would be on a lookout when everyone has slept. I would sneak out and my favorite pastime was I'm very thankful from where I come also in the sense like we still have guava, lychee, mango, jamun
Mm,
trees in the
yeah.
backyard. And
Yeah.
my pastime was like I would climb and I would do all sorts of crazy acrobatics. I think they call it calisthenics or something, and I would really do crazy stuff, which I can't do anymore. But I always had this thing for I was very sporty always, but I never
Hmm.
thought of and it was not even a profession back in
Yeah,
90s. If you
sure.
say I want to be a yoga teacher or
Oh
anything of the
Lord.
sort, it was
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah,
was not so this thing. So yeah, it
yeah.
started after my first one, a little bit of walking more and trying to run. I could not run more than 500 meters. My
Okay.
husband was training me and he used to tell me, he used to try to, how Fajis are. It's all mental, you can do it. I was like, it's not mental and I'm not in the academy. I'll really fall. He was like, when you fall, I'll pick you up. Let me see if
Hmm.
you fall. I really never fell. So it started like that. Then I remember I was almost back to my pre pregnancy, but there was something which was I was not happy about, and I used to ask my brother and my sister, something is not the same, right? And obviously they were very sweet. They were like, no, no, it's fine, it's fine.
Hmm.
But and that's how. Then I was a freelance. I was a journalist before marriage, so I
I
was.
did not know that. Okay. Okay.
I was freelancing with a company called Sale by India,
Okay.
salebyindia.com. They used to sell things online. And my senior, Priyanki, she gave me a blog to write for 2018 Yoga Day, which was top
Wow.
five bloggers of top five yoga bloggers of India.
Okay.
And Akanksha, you'll not believe I was not on Instagram till then.
Sure.
And then I was chasing them on emails and all, and she was like, "Did you get a reply?" I said,
Hmm.
"No, they're not replying." She said, "Not even on Instagram." I said, "No, I'm not on Instagram." And she said, "Make your Instagram right now and write
Ah.
to them there." They actually replied in a day, and I saw their profiles. I was like, "Wow, is this for real?" And like I saw, and I was like, if this is what human bodies are capable of, I would like to do some of this at least in this life. And that's how it started. That's exactly how it started.
So fascinating. And
Yeah.
did you instantly like, were you instantly like, yes, I want to learn this, and so you signed up for like a course or a training, or first did you just try it by yourself?
No, no, no. We were in a place called Gopalpur. Only
Mm-hmm.
Fauji's. All the Fauji's might also not know it. It's like a small place in Odisha. And the
Okay.
closest town is also 1 hour away, Behrampur.
Okay.
So, and it was 2018, pre-corona. So online was not happening. So I just,
Sure.
my only learning was, even though people say it should not be without guidance and all, but in a condition like that, a new mom, this one was
Yeah.
1.5 or 2, and nowhere to go, I had to start on my own. So BK Sayangar's Light on Yoga, the book,
Yeah.
and
That's how
Instagram,
even I
never
started
YouTube.
my yoga journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like the universal, because I've heard a lot of people saying that they started with BK Sayan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah, that's how I started. And no YouTube, because I used to find YouTube very slow, honestly. Like they would, there was a lot of, and I was in a hurry at that time. Now I'm not, but
Yeah.
that was, like, oh my God, some skill, not doing anything. Like literally, I left when I left. I was a journalist. I left that. Then I was teaching. I conceived. I left that. So it was like something to, wow, this is good, like feel good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I started with that. I used to have some poses. Tomorrow I'll try this, and I made my own random routine, which I followed for about 2 years. Like, but
Sure.
it was very slow and easy. With two two asanas every week, target that this I'll do in this week, like that. So it
Okay.
was it was slow, but it was addictive. Yeah.
Hmm. And you just mentioned, you made up your own routine, and that's what you followed for 2 years.
Mhm.
So how much of a difference does it make if it's like just, for example, if there are some asanas that I enjoy doing and that I know I'm good at, like, because you have that competition with yourself, like, oh, how far can I like
Yeah. Yeah.
stretch? So how much of a difference does it make if it's like a routine that I have created for myself as compared to, say, a proper routine that they have, somebody else or an instructor has given to you, like, yeah, yeah. So is there a difference between that?
Um, There is, when I look back at it now, there is a little bit of difference, but I would still say, if you take it slow and steady and keep the difficult ones. We know what is difficult.
Yeah.
Even though I can do wheel pose, but I know it's challenging. So
Mm,
even now, I will never do it in the first half an hour of my practice. So
sure.
just keeping challenging things and your dream asanas for later, like at least
Okay.
45 minutes into the practice, and
Okay.
start with warm up, like basic. So I used to warm up even then. Then I used to start with the Surya Namaskar. I think
Mm,
once you're done with these two, then you can start slowly. And there's a sequence also, right? Supine, prone. Like I'll say
okay.
it for everyone to remember. It's actually very easy to remember. So in the course, they told us from where I did my TTC that how baby is only lying down first on the back,
Yeah.
supine position. So you start there. Then
Oh,
a baby takes a turn. So the
yeah.
baby is on the stomach. So then you go to prone asanas. Then baby
Oh,
sits. So sitting asanas and then standing asanas. And after that, you can do inversions.
very
So
cool. Okay.
yeah, this is
Yeah,
very
that's,
easy.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's quite cool. I might just
for
use that for
everyone to
my
follow.
own routine
However,
now.
when you're advanced, like now, I do standing. Now
Okay.
I do exactly like after Surya Namaskar, because you're
Yeah.
anyways always starting with Surya Namaskar, so you're always
Yeah.
in standing. So you can do opposite also, standing, then
Ah.
seated, then prone, and exactly the opposite, but not
Hmm.
mix up either this or that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from
and that
supine
makes
to
sense
standing or
also.
standing. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
are not
Yeah.
switching between
Ha.
standing, then sitting, then again let me do one standing. Maybe not that.
That's just, that's
Yeah.
weird. That sounds weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So wow, so you have changed quite a few like careers, you could say, and then you've landed on yoga, and this is kind of what you've stuck with, right?
This is, yes, yes. This is
Yeah,
it, I think. This is for good.
this is what your soul calls out to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what is also what I really admire and respect about you is that, you have two kids, and but still you have that thing where you want to learn more about your own craft and your own purpose and keep getting better at that. I think for so many of us, we just forget that you have to keep growing yourself also as a human being, especially for moms. I would imagine, like, I don't have kids,
Actually,
so
yes,
it's,
that's
even for me, like, without kids for so long, like, I didn't learn anything new, no new skill. I was just like living my life and like floating on the surface. And then of course, like, everything kind of just like fell apart for me, and I was like, oh wow, like, I think I need to like grow and learn more about myself. But to do that as a mother of two is even like, I can't even imagine like how hard it is, but how also amazing it is that you make sure that you're doing that for yourself.
actually
Yeah.
even now when I went, I have this very sensitive empathy, like one is sympathy, one is like feel for others. So I was always thinking there might be many ladies who are not getting this chance because sometimes we lose the will because it's just too much, actually. It's a lot to handle. And then we are like, it's okay. I also have those phases when I'm like, it's okay. Why am I pushing so much? Maybe just focus here. One is that first is we losing the will after so many things. Nobody prepares us for how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And secondly, I think in India there will be so many who don't have support, either in-laws or first and foremost, I would say is husband. So like
Yeah.
I can actually go out, and I cannot say this enough that if my husband, if I didn't have that support, it would be difficult. Like then nobody can help you if you don't have. Then what happens is fighting, and then all the more reason for giving up. You're like, why put up a fight? Just let it be. Then
Yeah.
you have to put up a fight against with your spouse or with your own self that let's just do it. Then it doesn't work out. So it was a lot of people. Number one is definitely husband. Then my in-laws were here to take care of my kids for a week. Then my combination of support from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need a break to come back stronger and with a very
Yeah.
fresh perspective. So
Yeah.
it's required.
And it's also, I mean, I think it's a wonderful thing because your kids are looking at you and they're like, okay, yes, it is important to fill your own cup also. So that is what they're going to take away from this, that yes, it's okay for us to step away from our day to day lives to take care of ourselves first so that we can
Exactly.
come back and show up
Yeah.
as a more whole person for
Absolutely,
our
yes. And
family.
that's my major concern that I hope they before leaving, 2 days before leaving, there was this reel going viral where a
Hmm.
girl is standing and speaking and Shilpa Shetty is there that I just thought of my mom as my mother and I had too many expectations. I've saved it and I showed it to him.
Okay.
So and also when I came back, I held his hand and I was like, thank you so much. Because of you, your mom is a yoga therapist now. Like if you
Oh.
have little things and you don't have it.
No, but
And
that
he's
is how
rolling
you
his
sort of,
eyes.
yeah, that is how you
Yeah,
build that in them. Yeah.
yeah. So I just told them that thank you so much. Without your support, I could not have gone. So it's just trying to balance. And I said next time I'll try to. And I actually spoke to the owner there and I said, can I come with my kids this time? And she
Hmm.
said, yes, you can come with your kids.
Oh,
So
for the
yeah,
training.
for the training, yes. Because I have known them for 4 years.
Okay.
I was carrying when I did my TTC with them. I was carrying
Okay.
the second one, and
Wow.
I told them they're like, "What?" Like I delivered 1 week after the training was over.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, I got over on 22nd November 2020, and I delivered on
Huh.
1st December. 1 week after
That's
after I became
beautiful.
yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
she's known me since then. So she was like, "Yeah, I can." yet. So I told him
Okay.
that also, that I don't want to leave, but we have to keep doing things that I said you will go to college after a few years. Can you avoid that? So it's just, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so tell me, like after your first child was born, how did how did your marriage like change after that? How did your, how did you guys consciously sit down and, talk about how things are going to change and what your responsibilities are going to be? Did you have boundaries? Did you divide your responsibilities? Or was it a more like organic sort of a change that you noticed? And how, like, what changed?
Things change completely. Like completely. There's nothing like from eating to using the washroom to anything, even small walks. Day before yesterday, I was going, and it remains like that. I was all ready with my shoes on and all. I was just going to walk in the park, and the little one slept off like at an odd time. So
Okay.
I thought he'll wake up. I sat on the sofa and he was in my lap, and he slept like that for an hour. So, but honestly telling you, I don't believe in reading books on parenting and really sitting down to talk. I think it makes things more complicated. I think we should just like, I don't think our parents did it. Like, not
Hmm.
talking too much, stressing on small things. No, you have to do half, I'll do half. It doesn't, a lot of times it doesn't work also. Like I was away, now he's away for 40 days. So,
Yeah.
and he's in the army, like he'll be, but otherwise also, I feel like talking too much, then your expectations are set. But he said he'll take care of it, and now where is he? When you talk it out, your expectations, I think, because you think that I made it amply clear. Why
Hmm.
is this thing not available now? So I think whoever is there, like I was not there, he was there. Now he's
Hmm.
not there. And like 2 years he was not there. He was in late last year and last year.
Yeah.
So I
Wow.
was
2 years.
there.
Hmm.
Very stressful times, but and postpartum, like peak postpartum.
Wow.
But I cannot just walk out, and I cannot. So we never had to talk like now what will
Okay.
happen or something. It was just let's
Okay.
go with the flow. Now you take care. Now you change the diaper. How many times did you do it? No, not like that. He doesn't
Sure.
change it. He only changes twice. Not nothing like that. It was if he's available and he does. Akanksha, like I have a class for.
Hmm.
So in some classes, in my personal classes, I do with the phone. But then there's
Okay.
this app where I'm working. So for them,
Okay.
they need a proper setup like this. I've set it up for them only.
Okay.
So what he's usually not there. Delhi is very busy. So he leaves at 9. He comes back at 9 in the night. Something. Sometimes even later than that. And
Okay.
morning for GPT, evening games, all that is
Yeah.
also happening. So
Yeah.
one day he was there and he was like, "What time is your class?" I said 4:30, and I was very like this, almost like dozing off. And when
Huh.
I came, I always get up 15 minutes because before the class, setting this up and everything.
Okay,
So
cool,
yeah,
cool.
I feel the more
Hmm.
you talk, the more you read about parenting and this and that, it becomes you have these set notions. Just go with the flow.
Yeah.
You're not
Also, there
first
is
time.
like so much information, right?
Yes,
And you
yes.
then it gets overwhelming also.
You don't know what to
Yeah.
follow, and then you have expectations like in the
Yeah.
book it says this, you're not doing that. He'll be like, I'm not at home, how do I do this? And by the way,
Yeah.
both the kids were very meticulously planned by me. I wanted both, number one also, number two also. So I
Okay.
take it as it's on me to take care of the like, because I was like, he was like, no, we are good, like, doing double income, no kids. So I was like, no, 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 for both. So I
Okay.
also I also have that at the back of my mind always.
Oh, cute. Okay. So how did you know like you want two kids? Like how were you so like sure that yes, I'm going to plan two kids?
Like initially, I was like two before marriage. Then after one, I was like, oh my god, not even one I should have had for some
Hmm.
time for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And then when you see the that one growing up, especially in army, you're getting posted. There's no permanent circle. Probably
Yeah.
if I probably if I was in civil and I had one circle that I'm staying here, these are his friends and this is his school, then
Hmm.
maybe I could have done away with it. But you're moving so many places. Those phases when you're in the guest room for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months,
Yeah. Yeah.
that time I was like, he'll be very lonely if there's nobody, and they take time to
Yeah.
make friends.
Of course, yeah.
And one more very selfish reason I had was I was like, I since then I knew that I have to do courses and have to learn a lot, and I'll be very guilty leaving one behind.
Hmm.
So I want to leave two behind.
Okay, yeah, that
So
actually
yeah,
makes sense. Yeah. All right, cool. Okay.
uh,
So, beyond yoga, like, do you have any other, either spiritual practices or mindfulness practices that you do in your day, or is it just yoga?
it is the spiritual practices the same that is a part of what yoga says. Like I wake up at 5 or 5:30. Like if it's very cold, it's 5:30. Like usually it's 5. Like today, I wake up at 5. Then half
Damn,
an hour
okay.
of whatever getting ready and all that because I straight away go to meditate. So not meditate,
Okay.
actually chant. Mhm.
Okay. So you
I
chant, all
can't
right.
yet meditate because of both of them. One or the other
Mm-hmm.
will come for sure.
Okay.
So like 5:30 to 6:30 is chanting, little bit, maybe 10 minutes. Initial
Okay.
10 minutes when I know for sure they'll be sleeping. That then some cleansing like Jalniti or mostly it's Kratak. It's fire wala Kratak, the staring at
Okay.
the diya.
Ah, got it. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so morning mana is that with the chanting, that kriya and pranayam I finish. So it's exact 1 hour actually, just more than 1 hour.
Okay. And
So
for how long have you been doing like your chanting and the staring at the diya?
chanting maybe 1 year.
1 year. Okay.
But you know how it was? Like I'll be sitting here, I'll play it on the music system, and the kids are also hanging around. Everything is happening.
Sure.
But very seriously, I do it like I make that space. I switch off the light, and only the diya is there to that whole vibe. And then I play Om chanting, very slow ones on the speaker. And then so this feels absolutely different. This is like another level.
Yeah, it
My
sounds really nice. Yeah.
yeah, this my husband comes in and he's like this very strong energy because that room has now very strong energy, and when you pass also, so
Yeah.
there's this very beautiful smell and you can sense the energy because so much
Hmm.
of chanting is happening, so it really matters. And then
Yeah. And
besides
so,
that,
sorry. Yeah. Tell me.
especially for the kids, I try to do havan once a month, like just simple, so to
Okay.
involve him. The elder one can handle, he's 8 years old. He
Okay.
will do the swaha, and I will chant the mantra. So wo swaha, because of the swaha putting in, it's a little exciting for him.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure. Okay. And
yeah.
then, okay, so what are the havans around? Like, why do you do them?
Havan, so they say the mantra is in itself very, very strong. All these
Hmm.
Gayatri mantras, and mostly I do Mahamrityunjay. And when you combine it with fire, we also have, like, we are also made of fire, right? So they
Yeah.
say it helps you connect. And when you use cow dung in the
Mm-hmm.
Havan, and also the
Yeah.
samagri is, what do they call it? 9 planets. There's this word in Hindi for that. Navgraha.
I.
Navgraha
Okay.
ki lakdiyan, they say. So
Okay.
so they are from different trees. So when all of
Got it.
this gets together, and they say that it cleans the air around you for 24 hours. So ideally, you should
Understood.
do it actually every 24 hours, but you're
Oh,
doing it
wow.
every 1 month.
Okay.
Yeah. So it purifies and removes negative energy whenever we move in a new house. For sure, I do a havan. And initially, we used to call Pandit. Now I do it on my own, like 108 chants. I have a havan called small.
So it sounds like a very powerful practice of not just like cleansing the
Yes,
energy
yes, yes.
around you, but also of being present. And so it's kind of like a
Yes,
meditation in a way,
yes.
right?
It's like a meditation, absolutely. I consider chanting also as meditation because
Yeah, of course, of
you
course.
are,
Yeah.
yeah. So the mantra becomes your, like when you do dharana, it's on a specific point. So in this, it's
Yeah.
your mantra. I find it,
Yeah.
honestly, I find asanas also meditative. Like you're just focusing what's happening, what
Yeah.
is stretching. If you do it peacefully, that's
Yeah.
also meditative.
True, true. And how do you do your chanting? Because you said that you put it on the speaker and then you also chant along with the
No, not
speaker,
along.
right?
So the speaker is the
Okay.
background. Om. It's very slow. Then music,
Okay.
then Om. And I do my Amritanjay Gayatri and Om is every day. And
Okay.
Yeah. So it is
And
just the
while you're
background music.
chanting, okay, and while you're chanting, you're looking at the flame, basically.
No, this is everything is with eyes closed. This is about half an hour with eyes closed. 10
Wow.
minutes one,
Okay.
10 minutes one, 10 minutes one. And then I open, then I do this tratak. For
Okay.
about 5 minutes, I'm staring. So 4 times I'm able to do it. Like then the eyes will water, then you close, then open. 4 times it
Sure.
happens. And
Okay.
then I try to meditate for like, that's not very long. So then I close my eyes finally and I try to visualize that diya, that
Yeah.
agni
The flame.
on my
Yeah.
the third eye chakra,
Got it.
and that's what
Okay.
I focus on for like 5 to 10 minutes.
Wow. Okay. And what is it called again? What was the name for the this practice of looking at the diya?
Jyoti tratak, Jyoti, looking at the Jyoti.
Jyoti Tratak. Okay.
Yeah. Tratak is staring. You do Surya Tratak. When the sun is rising, you stare. It is Tratak.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
moon. Our dads, like my dad used to say as a kid, just stare at the moon till your eyes water. He didn't know it's something. So that
Ah.
is what you Chandrama Tratak. Then this is
Okay.
Jyoti Tratak. Generally, people do it with candle, but because I light the diya, it's the
Okay.
same thing. And there is Bindu Tratak also, which you can try. You can just put a nice red bindi at eye level.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just keep staring at it. Eyes will water, close it again for five, ten
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, I've tried it. I've tried it with the flame, and yeah,
Okay.
it's interesting because after a while, it's like everything else just kind of turns into
Yes,
like
yeah.
that's जो
Blur.
TV पे static होता था ना, like it turns into that, and
Ha,
then you're just looking at
exactly.
the
Yeah.
flame. Yeah, yeah,
It
that's
actually
quite cool.
feels good.
Okay, wow. So that's, I mean, you have quite a few really deep practices that you do every day apart from your yoga.
Apart from asanas, yes. So this is
Yeah.
like this I have to do because I've actually felt a huge difference in the way I handle the kids, the way I take up my
Yeah, that's what I
responsibilities
was
at
going to
home.
ask you. Like,
Yeah.
how have you, like, how has it helped you? How has the meditative
It has
practices?
really changed. This one has really, I would recommend it to all mothers. Maybe not 1 hour, maybe not everyone is up for waking up at
Yeah,
5 and 5:30. Just
yeah,
half an hour also. And it's
yeah,
okay if you do it without taking a bath. It's just that I fixed it in my mind because, with the routine,
sure.
it was happening that sometimes I'm not taking a bath in a day. So I was
Yeah,
like, let me just finish it off. Even now it
mm,
happens in the evening, I'm like, I have to take a bath also. And then I
yeah,
realized, no, I've taken a bath in the morning. Because
yeah,
this happened when my
it's,
husband was not there for 2 years. And I
yeah,
was really not getting time to take a bath. So it's so
mm.
ingrained now that I haven't taken a bath. Till evening I'm thinking and then I'm like, no, I've taken a bath, I've done everything. So it feels just taking a bath is like an achievement.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. I get it.
so
Okay.
so
And
this
so,
it's
so
good.
what would you recommend? Would you recommend the chanting or the Jyoti Tratak? Like, what do you enjoy more?
Uh, Actually, do both. Like I do it for 1 hour, maybe do it for
Mm-hmm.
just 20 minutes, 10 minutes,
Hmm.
15 minutes chanting, and only 5 minutes that. You'll
Okay.
suddenly feel very fresh.
For you to share what the breathwork experience was for, like, how was
Yeah.
it for you?
I did speak about it, but it was not enough when I spoke about it after the class because I had a huge party at home that day and I just closed everything and I attended your class.
Okay.
And it was very close to Yoga Nidra actually. Have you heard of
Hmm.
Yoga Nidra?
Yeah, yeah, I've tried yoga
So
nidra, yeah.
yeah, so which I'm always making people do, and I never get that experience. So
Okay, yeah.
that your breath work was just like that. It was like it was that sort of an experience for me. It was very powerful, and suddenly I was not. Suddenly I went to the kitchen and I could do many things that I said I'll do this tomorrow, and I'm very tired. But I was not tired anymore.
Okay.
Very similar, I found it to actually Yoga Nidra. I was like
Yeah, yeah.
I was perfect after that. So it was really good. I could not even express that day. I said very little, but it was much deeper than what I said that day. It was really nice. It was very good.
Cool,
And
cool.
it's also very close to what we do in like pranayam and
Yeah.
nidra, everything mixed together. Like yoga has a lot of stress on breathing, right? Even when we
Yes.
start a practice, we first meditation, chanting, asana, pranayam, everything. You come back first, like focus on your breath, and
Yeah,
then you begin everything.
yeah.
So it was very nice to have someone make you do it so nicely. It was great.
Thank you. Okay, cool. And what are there any other like healing modalities that you have ever kind of experienced for yourself? Any alternative healing methods that you may have tried?
Uh, I haven't tried in the sense I have not been on the healing giving side, but my mom does Reiki, and
Okay.
my with my younger one I experienced it a lot, that whenever he would have a vaccination and he'll be like crying uncontrollably, and I started telling her initially that today is his vaccination, so
Mm,
please do it, and like huge difference. I was actually amazed. So every time then he would have something, and also I'll tell you a very small, very simple trick. Like even when I was on the course now, so the
yeah.
little one had fever for 2 3 days. So if you, I do this in my prenatal class. So you
Okay.
imagine 11 times Om you do and focus on somebody. So in the prenatal class, what we do is like Om Om, so that you don't have to count. You can just focus on the Om. So
Yeah.
I say that just imagine the baby in the womb. So for healing, I've actually experienced. So I started doing it there when I was chanting there in the course.
Mm-hmm.
I used to take a resolve first. I always take a resolve, like a sankalp positive resolve, even before the asana practice also. So I
Okay.
used to say this is for health and happiness of whatever, जिसके लिए भी आपको करना है.
Yeah.
And then you chant with full faith that this is the topmost thing in this is faith, I think. All
Yeah.
of this, even Reiki, everything. If
Yeah.
you have faith, then it can actually do wonders. So you just
Absolutely.
think
Yeah.
of that person and chant 11, 21, jitna bhi, whatever it is.
Yeah, now I would love for you to share, your experience and your journey with postpartum depression, what you went through. How did you even recognize that that's what you're going through, and then how you sort of came out of it, what helped you? I'd love to know everything about that.
The second one, I was very much aware of what is postpartum.
Hmm.
So as much as I was trying to, with the first one, I didn't know. I used to message my friends, when does this get over? I didn't know. I didn't know a lot about it. I just knew I'm feeling low. But a
Yeah,
term properly dedicated for this, I didn't know actually. And the
sure.
second one I knew, and I was more cautious because I was like, when you know something, you're always checking, is it
Yeah.
happening? So I was very watchful. Initial 6 months, surprisingly, it was not there because my husband was there. And I remember giving lectures to people with a lot of people were calling me the one kid people because I always feel that one kid people always want another one. Mostly, I've noticed it
Hmm.
in 80% people,
Hmm.
but they are not able to gather the courage. It was the same with me. 2019 was all about gathering the courage that I have to.
Wow. Okay.
So I was getting a lot of calls from known friends and even Instagram, like girls and ladies on Instagram. So I was like, oh, it's this, and oh, come on, just do it, and this and that. And suddenly my husband got posted today.
Oh,
So I sometimes I'm not sure, was it postpartum or was it a mix? Because suddenly I was left with a little one,
yeah.
he was just 6 months old and the elder one was 5, and it was still like tail end of Corona was there. And
Hmm.
cantonments were closed all
Hmm.
across India. Cantonments were very strict. So he had no school. And we also shifted from a very nice house to a very small separated family accommodation,
Okay.
which was covered by a banyan tree. Like it had pretty haunted vibe. So my focus was on the little one. The elder one was not able to go to school. And then because we shifted, my maid said I will not come. And
Yeah.
suddenly I was like, oh my God, what is this? We were only on 20% of our stuff. I didn't open everything because it was a small house.
Yeah.
And then this thing between both of them started, you know, like trying to divide my time between two of them.
Yeah.
It was very challenging, and that's when I started realizing that, oh my God, it's a lot to take care of two of them together, and probably we could have had this one after in a posting where my husband
Hmm.
would have been there with me. And we were
Yeah.
very far. My in-laws are in Lucknow, my parents are in Dehradun, and it was still Corona. Corona fear was there, properly there
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
time. So I didn't want to risk calling anyone. was not, I didn't find it right to, and I was
Yeah.
going to be there for 2 years. I find it very demanding to just tell parents you come and stay because my husband is not there. I mean, they also have a life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, initially I didn't realize I was getting into postpartum depression. And when I realized it was actually a little late because I was always cribbing, I had really bad thoughts. And I remember my brother was telling me long ago that, oh my God, there's a mother, and she did something bad to her kid. Suddenly,
Mm.
I started having not these thoughts that I'll do something bad, but I was like, she was going to, like, it was suddenly it was justified, her actions,
Yeah.
this the actions of of mothers who did something bad to their kids. Suddenly I was like, maybe she reached that level. So that's when
Yeah.
I realized, am I also reaching that level that I'm justifying or I'm okay with what they did? And I was
Mm.
spending so much. There was nowhere to go. I would just shop every day for thousands, like, oh, this is looking nice. I had a postpartum body. I could not wear it. I had a life with, like, absolutely there was nobody. Like, I was in my block, those typical 4G houses with four. I was
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
only one. It was all, the block had to go for special repair.
Wow.
I used to shop so much. I used to shop like crazy. And there was no going out for weeks. I'm not kidding. There was a time I would not take a bath for 2 days in a row after doing so much of yoga and so many things, sweating it out because I had lost the will to take. I was like, where am I going? Why should I
Mm.
change? Stuff like that. Nobody stopped talking to my parents. Very less. We would say, let's sit till 10:30. You would say, no, I sleep at 9. That's not how I am. And I don't remember doing this.
Mm.
And but there are people who said, and I've also lost good friends at that time. So, and then I realized that's how I became very aware, and I realized that I have to. I want to really make people aware about this thing, that if somebody is going through postpartum, just sort of let her be. There are many things you can't understand, but at least try not to misunderstand somebody who's going through postpartum, because I was 5 or 6 kgs less than what I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, my bones were jutting out and my shoulders were drooping. But I was very fit. People thought I'm fit because I'm working out. No, because I had no
Yeah.
time to eat also with two of them. Like feeding,
Mm.
the little one I was feeding. And the elder one was like, he was more clingy because
Yeah.
his dad went suddenly, and
Yeah.
a new entry at home, and mom is focused only on him.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, it was very challenging. More so because I think my husband was not. It was
Yeah.
mostly it hit me because of that, because I was very prepared for postpartum depression. I was like, I'm not going to let it happen. And
Mm-hmm.
had Vikrant been there, I think it wouldn't have happened. But everything, the circumstances were such that I kept on, like, going in and in, and that's why I became very spiritual. That is when I became. There was a temple close by, like just 200 meters. So they used to like going there because there was a park also.
Okay.
And they were like, let's go, let's go. The only outing we had. And I would just sit inside and I would keep staring at, the idols there. Just keep staring, staring, staring for half an hour sometimes. And they will keep playing and then I'll come back. So that used to make me. And I literally got signals when I got into spirituality at that time, mainly. I used to get signals. Nobody taught me count your blessings, but I would see I would see sad things, a
Mm.
blind kid or a kid born with something, this, that. My own friends, parents dying because of cancer. It's like, what is this? Just because I have to work a little more and I'm alone. Look at people, what they're going through. What if, like, I would speak to friends and they'd be like, just took my mom to the hospital, she has this cancer. Oh, my son's treatment is going on, he has this. And I was like, oh my God, there's this term for this, I don't know, when you start enjoying being sad. So I started checking with myself that, are you like,
Yeah.
like this melodramatic? And
Yeah.
I actually started checking with myself, and really I would always compare myself to maybe ladies who have this life permanent. I had it because my
Mm.
husband was not there. Maybe
Yeah.
ladies whose lives is more complicated because her husband is there and he's an irritating or like annoying, and
Hmm.
many things happen. So I
Yeah.
was like, there's so much. I have all the support. So then they say this hierarchy, right? Health, relations, and
Hmm.
there's one more thing. That's when I realized I was like, my health is okay, even though my mental health wasn't.
Hmm.
And then my relations are okay, my loved ones are okay, and my kids are good, my husband, my parents. So then I was like, I think you need to stop being dramatic. And that's how I pulled myself. And definitely it was spirituality also. That's when I started chanting and trying to meditate and go to the temple. But not everyone, if somebody is not able to get out of it, it's not their fault. It's a lot of things, many,
Yeah.
many things. Who they are living with, what is their routine, how much work they have to do they have help? There are many
Yeah.
things
Yeah. Of course.
that a
Yeah.
female might be going through. And then your body, suddenly your body is not your own body. And so much is sucked out also in terms of superficially your shape of the body,
Yeah.
and in terms of internally also how you things change, and suddenly there's this thing which is out. It's a lot more than just, and suddenly the focus is the baby, but you're feeling so, you're literally, there's a part out of you which is, it's
Yeah.
not, you feel the vacuum. So it's so much of up and down that they need to be
Wow.
understood. And yeah, and they themselves need to acknowledge that we have to understand, and not feel guilty about even having bad thoughts sometimes that maybe I shouldn't have had a kid. It's okay. Maybe tomorrow she'll not feel that. So we can't hold her accountable for having one bad thought. She's going actually through a lot. So
How long did it take for you to sort of slowly start coming out of your postpartum depression?
about a year and 3 months.
Wow.
2022 New Year. Sorry, 22 to 23 wala New Year. um, I from November 2022, I started. I was like, no, this is not happening anymore. And then I
Hmm.
started taking the kids out. I started searching for random places where I could take kids, and then I took them to a place. Just three of us. I booked a place for New Year. I went,
Okay.
and I was like,
Oh,
things
that's
have to
nice.
change now. Yeah. So I decided, like I promised myself that things have to change now, because my son started telling me, he would be just joking, like you just maybe make a joke, and I'm like, my humor died, and he would be
Hmm.
like, "Mama, आप कभी हंसते नहीं हो." And then he
Oh.
was like, "Mama, मैं मजाक कर रहा हूँ." अब seriously, I was like, "Oh my god, what is this?"
Hmm.
Like a little kid is telling me myself, and I was
Yeah.
like, then and now even now I ask him, I was like, "Am I spending time with you?" I keep checking with him because he feels
Hmm.
things. So
Yeah.
1 year, but for some it might take very long. I know people who have taken very long, and some people who've permanently changed. There's some part of postpartum. Do you know it can stay for 7 years?
Wow.
Sometimes
I
it
did
can
not
show
know
up
that.
after 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, you're thinking you've just changed and you are just unhappy about something, or you're just irritable because you're weak. No, it might be just postpartum depression because you're not feeling yourself. It doesn't
Wow.
feel your body, your mind, your emotions. They don't feel the same. So it takes time for people to understand. And the lady generally is ignored also. All the attention is on the kid,
Yeah.
or
Of
what is she
course.
doing for the kid, and so many other things.
And you also have like you teach yoga classes for postpartum also, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I teach postpartum yoga also, where uh, people have, like C-section has been made such a big deal. I don't
Hmm.
see the big deal, even if you've practiced yoga and in the end you have C-section. I think it's absolutely fine. It's the baby is healthy, if you are healthy, again, because there's so much of pressure that this is
Yeah.
normal. And for all you know, right now it might not be required C-section. We all know it's
Yeah.
they're just doing it for money.
Yeah.
So sometimes a lady, she's not able to feed, the baby is not latching. These
Hmm.
things disturb a new mom a lot. So instead of people around saying, "Yeah, normal ho jata to acha hota, normal to normally hota hai," things like this, you should
Yeah.
just say whatever it is fine. oh latch नहीं bonding कैसे होएगी, latch नहीं हो पा रहा. Things like this, it's very disturbing.
Yeah.
You're not born with a manual or any experience.
Yeah.
Mom is learning every day, I think. And then stressing her with such expectations is what makes it worse instead of just
Yeah.
saying whatever
Of
it is,
not
it is.
being enough, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hmm. Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So,
And
in that
so,
phase, in the
yeah.
postpartum phase, I remember I was like least bothered about the kids, like because I was not able to like sort of get myself together. I was just doing my duties as a mother. Nothing
Hmm.
like what I do now. Play with them. We play so many crazy things, you know. And he
Hmm.
would say, "Can I keep the cushion down to play?" No. Like everything was a no. What is the big deal? You can keep the
Hmm.
cushion down and it can go back up again. But at that time, so you don't have to feel guilty. You can just, but yes, keep working on yourself to come out of it.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for
Um,
asking, and I hope it reaches a lot of people because it's
yeah.
really.
Yeah, because even like surprisingly, still like a lot of people don't talk about this.
Don't, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and I think the more you talk about something is how you sort of normalize it and be like, it's okay. It's okay to not be okay at whatever stage you are, wherever you are in life.
And it's okay to have, I'm telling you, it's okay to have all sorts of thoughts. That doesn't mean you can,
Yeah,
how it is with all the relationships. We fight with our parents, we fight with our partners, but it doesn't mean we don't love them. Same is with kids. And suddenly somebody new in your life, nobody's asking that you have to be all rosy. It'll be a journey.
yeah,
So,
you get to know each other slowly. Yeah, yeah,
yes, exactly. And nobody's saying that if the baby is not feeding, you know, and not latching, and you are pumping and giving, that doesn't mean the baby will not be attached to you. It's about how you raise the baby, how close you are otherwise. These
yeah,
things are really made larger than life for just to make the moms feel guilty, I feel sometimes.
yeah, yeah. Wow, cool. Thank you so much, Suhani. And I am also going to ask you something that I ask everyone. What is that one piece of advice, if you could give to your younger self? What would it be? Any little piece of wisdom?
That definitely to be more focused. I was not at all focused. I was just doing whatever I
Hmm.
wanted, and to be more focused in every sense about what you want in life. To put your
Yeah.
foot down. I learned it in the last 2 years when I became a rude person, but I realized because I was in postpartum depression and people thought I've changed, but I haven't. I'm still the same. But I
Yes.
know now when to say no, when to put my foot down. If I can't make it for some function, I will say no. Earlier, I would
Yeah.
not say no. So just not to be rude or not to push things too far, like how it's happening now. But I would definitely like to tell myself that it's okay to say no, and it's also okay to not have something to do at some point. We don't always uh, have to be this or that. We can sometimes, it's okay to be a housewife sometimes. It's okay to be a mother sometimes. It's okay to be a yoga teacher.
Okay to, yeah, it's okay to also just be sometimes. You don't have to like
Yes,
derive
yes.
your worth from how much you are doing or what you're doing.
Yes, yes. In
Yeah.
terms of financially and also otherwise, like it gives a satisfaction also to be doing something. I understand,
Yeah.
but like not be very. Don't make it a thing, this or that. You know, do or that. Just go with
Yeah.
the flow sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Go with the flow. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. And yeah, please share for whoever may be interested in yoga and learning from you. Where can we find you? How can people get in touch with you?
So I am planning to get something more professional and proper, but for now, it's primarily my Instagram is my. I sometimes keep putting for like the group classes and all, which is very rare. I don't do many group classes. I mostly do
Okay.
personal, like I said, to see the changes in the
Yeah.
person. So my primary source of like I'm available on Instagram.
Instagram,
That's
of
yeah,
course. Huh.
yeah.
I'll put that, of course, in the text. And
Yeah.
is there like, do you have a limit of how many clients you usually take on at one time? Are
Yeah,
you taking on new clients right now?
because of personal classes, it's tight. This personal
Yeah,
takes up 1 hour in a day, and
yeah.
but I have a plan to sort of have a postpartum and prenatal at least class. Postpartum for sure, prenatal
Okay.
because people are in different stages. It makes
Yeah,
sense to have one-on-one.
yeah.
And it's but pre and postnatal sometimes it's shorter also depending on the capability. So
Sure.
yes, every time I think I can't take more, but something works out. I'm telling you, like I can't say
Yeah.
no for these things.
Also, if
So,
it's meant to be, then it just works out and it happens in
yes,
whatever way.
especially post and pre, and now with the therapy thing, if somebody needs me, like maybe a normal class, I might do away with. But maybe the lady in pregnancy, like just few
Hmm.
days ago, she was like, my belly is this after postpartum, this and that. So first of all, I send a voice message, that just forget about your belly, don't focus. You just honor your body. You've done something so big, like a
Yeah,
human, like the more I think about it, it's fascinating. A human coming out, a full life form. It's just
yeah.
amazing.
All right. Thank you so much, Suhani. Thank you for firstly the work that you're doing, the gifts that you're sharing with the world. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for taking the time to come and have this conversation with me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me over, Akanksha. And like you said, we met briefly, but I was really humbled when you said you would like to do something with me. That's very nice of
Of
you.
course, of
And
course.
for me, I need platforms to like sort of reach out to women, especially postpartum, where they. So I'm sure you are the right person and do it the right way to